I always prided myself on being the practical one. Even when love became messy, I told myself clarity could fix it. Talk, therapy, compromise. Turns out, clarity looks a lot like a plastic coffee lid, a receipt for takeout at 2:13 a.m., and a lipstick-stained scarf shoved under the passenger seat. It was a Tuesday. A short week at the office, deadlines pressing, the house quiet. I rummaged through the glove box for an insurance card and found instead a folded napkin with a hotel logo, the corner soaked. My stomach dropped in a way that had nothing to do with indigestion. I sat there in the driver's seat for a long minute, staring at the napkin, feeling the slow, cold realization settle in. I shouldn't have been surprised, not entirely. Lately my wife, Jenna, had been distracted, her laugh a hair too practiced, her phone face down like a secret. But suspicion is a dangerous thing when it's left to stew. Finding the napkin turned suspicion into a breadcrumb trail. I opened the center console. A lipstick mark on the seatbelt clasp. A receipt from a florist with a man's name on the card. A hotel keycard buried in a change pouch. Rage arrived as a hot, blinding thing, but so did another impulse, not to explode, but to make sure I didn't lose everything because of emotion. I took photos. I cataloged. I put everything back exactly where I'd found it. I wasn't going to be the man who destroyed a marriage in a rage and then wished he hadn't. I wanted consequences that made sense, legal, reputational, irreversible in a way that mattered. I called my sister and asked her to come over. I told her there was something we needed to talk about, I didn't say what. When she arrived, I handed her the napkin, the receipt, the scarf. Her face hardened the way mine had, and for the first time since college, the two of us were silent together over a piece of betrayal. She agreed to sit with me while I thought through the next steps. We started small and smart. I copied the evidence to my cloud account and to an external drive. I made a timeline in a notebook, dates on the receipts, timestamps from parking meters, the nights Jenna claimed to be at team events. I didn't yet confront her because I wanted a clean break with no chance for deniability. Emotionally, that calm felt like armor. The next week, I scheduled a consultation with a divorce lawyer. I didn't walk in with fury, I walked in with facts. The lawyer listened, asked about finances, custody, and the things I'd already documented. "You did right by preserving evidence," she said plainly. "If it comes to that, this will matter." Hearing it said out loud was another little incineration of hope. It made the path forward inevitable. But legal consequences only settle the ledger. I wanted the lies to be exposed where they had been spun, within the communities Jenna moved in, the social circles who would ask how could she. I wasn't interested in public revenge for revenge's sake, I wanted truth to follow action. So I organized a simple, unforgiving reveal. Jenna hosted a small dinner for close friends one Saturday, her idea, to catch up and relax. She was radiant that night, mixing cocktails, asking after people's jobs, brushing her hair like she had nothing to hide. I was there, too, quiet and polite, a practiced smile in place. The house filled with laughter and the kind of easy conversation that pretends everything is fine. When dessert was being cleared, I asked for everyone's attention as if toasts were about to begin. My voice was steady, my hands did not tremble. I pulled out the photos on my phone, image after image of the napkin, the hotel keycard, the flower receipt, the scarf, and I told the story as simply as one would read a statement into a court record. No theatrics, no name-calling. I read dates. I showed the timeline. I laid the pieces on the coffee table like evidence in an investigator's kit. Faces shifted. The silence that followed was not the polite kind, it was the full-body hush of people watching a slow-motion train wreck. Jenna's laughter froze. Her cheeks flushed, first with embarrassment, then with the thin, animal panic of someone who knows she's been cornered. She sputtered denials at first, "You're making a scene, you don't know what you're talking about," but the receipt bore his name, the hotel keycard had a timestamp, and the florist confirmed the order when I called under the pretense of a wrong delivery. Her denials dissolved under the weight of verifiable details. Friends who'd once shrugged and told me to give her space now avoided eye contact. A few left without saying goodbye. After the guests trickled out, Jenna begged. She said she'd end it, she'd make it right, she'd go to counseling. Maybe she meant some of it. People mean things in the moment that evaporate the next, but the line had been crossed in ways that weren't about a single act. It was the secrecy, the pattern, the casual disregard. We separated that week. The lawyer moved swiftly, custody arrangements, the house, the bank accounts. I didn't want to bleed her dry. Revenge isn't about making someone suffer without purpose, but I did want fairness. I walked away with primary custody of our kids and a settlement that protected their future. Jenna moved into a small apartment, dignity thinned, familiar faces dwindling. Word spread, of course. Neighborhood whispers turned into questions at school pickup and awkward pauses at church. Some friends took sides, others disappeared. Jenna's lover wasn't interested in consequences. He stopped answering texts. Maybe he'd never expected the affair to be anything more than a thrill. The thrill ended, so did his convenience. People ask me sometimes if I think what I did was cruel. Maybe it was. The truth is, betrayal rearranges your moral compass. I could have chosen to ignore what I found, to bury it and pretend for the sake of appearances. But hiding a wound only makes it fester. Exposing the truth hurt everyone involved, yes, but it also ended a lie that would have eaten our kids' childhoods and my remaining sense of self. Months later, on an ordinary morning, my son asked if Daddy was okay. I looked at him and told him yes. The new normal took time, weekend routines, school plays, separate birthdays. People who mattered, the ones who stayed, saw that I was not a villain for choosing honesty over an illusion. If I paid Jenna back in social ruin, it was not because I relished watching her fall but because I refused to let a secret marriage continue to harm the people who had no say in it. Revenge quieted as life rebuilt itself. The car sat in the driveway until the sale papers were signed. I still find the occasional memento, a stray lipstick mark on a coffee mug, and feel a flicker of the old anger. Mostly, though, there's room for the small, ordinary contentment of things repaired, bedtime stories, quiet Sunday breakfasts, the dull but honest hum of home. She left evidence in our car. I made sure she paid a price, not with brutality, but with consequences that mattered. In the end, the cost was hers to bear, and the rest of us picked up the pieces and learned to live without the lie.